Hey guys, it's Dick and Drope. We're in a deep freeze right now. It is colder than anything outside, and we're inside gonna make a video for you of some of the stuff I found over the last year and what kind of got me hooked on metal detecting. So a little bit of a informational video rather than a dig video. So yeah, I got my cool Kentucky Dirt Diggers shirt in the mail. And the sticker I got on my board here, you'll see in a minute. So yeah, let's get to it. Alright guys, so I just wanted to show you a little sample of some of the things that I've found over the last year of detecting and what really got me hooked on the sport or the hobby or whatever you'd like to call it. I'll start off with these guys here. I just started, I got a cheapo detector. I was watching Nugget Noggin and Aqua Chigger and just got hooked watching their videos. I think I've seen every one. So I went out, bought a cheapo detector and had that for a couple days. Found a steak knife and some other crap in my yard. Then I felt like I wanted to get more advanced right away. So what I did, I ended up selling that and buying an AT Pro, and I signed up for the Canadian Metal Detecting Forum, which was a huge help. There's a lot of resource on there and a lot of knowledgeable detectorists, and I happened to meet my buddy Dwayne and Joe on there, and they took me out to a farm field that used to have a post office on it. So we got going on there, and it was pretty cool. It started out, it was a little bit dry, and then I decided to go check on the edge of this field. Well, it turns out I pulled this guy out first, 1850 Bank of Upper Canada penny. I was just honestly so thrilled. It was the most amazing feeling. And then I kept checking the same area, and I found this 1886 Indian head penny, and then the same area again within a meter from each other in a circle, I guess you could say, was a 1919 Buffalo nickel. So that really got me hooked, and yeah, those guys were a great help at getting me going. Very knowledgeable. So then, I mean, we've done several hunts together since, and I went off on my own. A couple more cool things. I found this really old buckle in Petrolia, my hometown. Yeah, so this is just some of the stuff I thought I'd set out to show you guys. I'll give you a closer view of everything here and maybe a little explanation where I found it and whatnot. So yeah, we'll go from there. So here's a closer look at the first old coin that I found, and this thing is just sweet. It's big, it's a great, awesome copper that we can get here in Canada, and so happy to have one. The 1886 Indian head penny, type 2. For those that aren't familiar, there's a difference in the last feather on his headdress there where it points in the word America. I guess the coin experts or whatever would know more about that stuff than me. And then the old buffalo here, which is pretty neat. So I found this guy here at a park here in Sarnia. I was doing some looking down on the, whether it be the Kentucky Dirt Diggers or the Just Go Detecting group hunts there, and I noticed that there was a couple people that had a couple of these that said they were Confederate, and I found that really odd, just being so far north here in Ontario. I reached out to Bo, Mr. Aqua Chigger, and he confirmed that this was not a Confederate artifact. It just must have been civilian buckle cover of some sort. Just another quick little thing I found in Petrolia. This is a Princess Pat Rouge tin, some ladies' makeup. I did some research, and it actually is pretty neat. I believe it's from the 1930s. This company has been, well, was in business for quite a long time, and they had several different designs of these little tins. My one and only skeleton key. I found this actually when I first started, before I actually went out with Dwayne and Joe that day in the field. Dwayne and I were talking through text or whatever. I sent him a picture of this. It was so crusty and ugly. I was just so happy to actually find something that was really neat and old. So I gave it to him actually the first time that we hung out and went detecting, and he was able to put it through electrolysis for me and put some wax on it and clean it up, and it is awesome. It's not really that cool, but it's still one of my favorite things that I found. So this little truck here I found about 10 inches deep in a farm field. Pretty neat. The bottom says Great Britain. So I did some research on that, and what I could find is the last time it was made was roughly 1964. So that's pretty cool. My wife Chantel wouldn't be too happy if I was to take the credit for this cool truck. In the bottom it's stamped London Toy. This is really cool. Being from Sarnia, this truck was made an hour from us, and I did some research. It looks like it's from the 40s. It had part of a wooden wheel left on it when it was found, but that since has dried up and fallen off, unfortunately. So yeah, this thing is pretty cool. And just for a size reference, this guy here is about the size of a normal Hot Wheels that we would have today. So this guy down here is about 4 inches long. The good old harmonica reed. I bet everyone who detects finds one of these within their lifetime. I got this in Point Edward, which is just basically an outskirt of Sarnia, right on along the river. Kind of a neat history in that park. It used to be a giant rail yard, actually, for the shipping industry and whatnot. So yeah, who knows how long this has been underground there. These watches are really neat too. I found this guy here first in the woods where I've been hunting and finding all those bullets, and then I went back the next day and searched and searched and searched for the rest of it, hoping I could find it, and nothing. And I found this guy in my in-laws' backyard, and it was pretty crusty when I found it. I guess there's still a little bit of crust there I gotta still deal with, and put something on it so it quits rusting away. But once I cleaned it up, I noticed, I don't know if I can get a shot of it, it's actually pretty ornate down in here. There's some engraving, and there's a number stamped in here, but I'm not too sure you know, if I can check that out to see who it was made by or what. I haven't really looked into it that far yet. Alright, I'll throw in a cool weedie for all you American guys that are tuning in. Here's some other neat coins that I happened to find. This 1950 silver quarter, that was the first silver I ever found. Sorry about the glare on all these guys. I like to keep track of the date and time and where I found them. I just think that's kind of neat. I know, whatever, I'm not going to last forever, so if I can leave these for my kids or grandkids or something, that's just a neat history that, you know, Dad or Grandpa found these and when. I know my grandpa was a big coin collector, and he's just got a box of coins. Like, I don't know if he found some of them or where he got them, so I just thought I'd leave a little bit more history along with them. I think that's just kind of neat to do, so... Here's a couple of spoons that I found. This one here, I actually found the day in the field with Dwayne and Joe. Just copper. It's pretty beat up and whatever, but still kind of a neat find. I thought I'd keep it rather than throwing it out. And then this guy here, I looked it up. It's just from the 50s or something. But pretty neat story. It was last winter that I found this, and my wife and I were actually pregnant at the time, so it was just kind of a cool thing to find. It pumped me up pretty good when I was in the woods. Some more musket balls. Those are always cool. And here's just a small collection of those bullets that I've been digging in the woods. This one here is my favorite. Like, that is pretty cool that it's smashed and hollow and whatnot. This guy here, I was telling you, I believe in my second video, that these had wood tips. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but this guy here actually has a piece of very old wood in the tip, whether it's a root that broke off in there and just happened to look right, I don't know. I think that's pretty cool if that's original wood though to that bullet. So those woods that I've been hunting in my last few videos, I've done a ton of hunting in there. We have a few parks, but honestly, I'm like a relic guy. I love to find the old stuff, really like the old coins, the old, horseshoes or stuff like that. That's what I'm into. I found this guy in the woods, and I had no idea what it was. I tried to look it up. I posted it to the Canadian Metal Detecting Forum, and it kind of was the consensus that it was like a phonograph needle tin, which was pretty cool. Like, I'm a musician and just love music and stuff like that, so it was neat to find something like that. Some old antique music stuff is always cool. I found this button in the woods. I'm not too sure on age. I posted it to the Canadian Metal Detecting page, and the experienced people there say it's not too old just because I guess of the way it's corroding or whatever. I'm not a button specialist. I really don't know. The little shank is broken off on the back, but it's just a neat find. When I seen that, I was just amazed at the cool detail in the lion's head. These are some artifacts that I found up at the family cottage. The cottage has been in my wife's family for quite a few years. It's built along an old wagon trail, and I found some other offshoots of the trail into the woods. Not much action along the trails, unfortunately. There was a big clearing that I feel like there was a barn or something there at one time. I found this implement wrench. I mean, I'm sure that's not really that old. There's some plow points there. I found this guy just down on a trail, but I found this pocket knife down by the river. I did some looking just at this crest here online. From what I can see, it could be actually quite old. But I mean, I'm no Antiques Roadshow expert, so I really don't know 100%, but I'd like to think it's kind of old, which is neat. Alright, we'll wrap up this video with a little bit of the cool jewelry stuff that I found. I found this old high school ring at a park that was like a religious camp back in the day. It's been active since about 1920. I'm sure there's a ton of cool history there. I know the AT Pro came up a little short on me. My buddy Joe found a really awesome silver medallion from the Boy Scouts, some swimming champion thing, and it's great. I'll see if I can include a photo in the comments if I can track him down to get a picture of it. This heart pendant, honestly, I forget where I found that, and I was supposed to actually put that on a chain for my wife and totally forgot. Here's some rings that I found, all junkers. I found this at a schoolyard beside an old tree stump. That was at a ballpark. This guy here, it's kind of nice actually. There's no stamps on the inside, but kind of neat looking. And of course this honeymoon brooch that I found in my video the other day. I'm still on cloud 9 about that. It is just great. But then the champion of champions here, my love token brooch, engraved on a Canadian 50-cent coin. The date would have been on the front side, but unfortunately they carved that up. But there's a view of the back. Just by attempting to date it and the styling of the lady there, I'm guessing it's probably around 1880, which is fascinating. I found that in my hometown, Petrolia, Ontario, so you can't beat that. Alright guys, as always, thanks for tuning in. I hope I didn't bore you to death there. Hoping to get out again this weekend to do some digging. I might even have a buddy with me, so Subi Shane, if you're watching, make sure you dress for the weather.